New for '77, the Mercedes-Benz 450 SL convertible. Experience open-air thrills and the exquisite luxury of German engineering. Equipped with silky smooth V8 power, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Go ahead, arrive fashionably late to the cocktail party. Your friends will understand. After all, you drive a Mercedes. With supreme comfort, quality, and style, you'll never want to stop driving. Mercedes-Benz 450 SL convertible. Engineered like no other car in the world. "50 years since its debut, the R107 Mercedes SL has left an indelible impression on the automotive landscape. And now, in retrospect, it's safe to say that these German juggernauts have lived up to their slogan. They truly were engineered like no other car in the world. Aside from luxurious accoutrements such as dual-zone climate control, four-wheel disc brakes, and cruise control, the SL offered something more, something a bit less sexy than its appearance would suggest. That thing? Safety. These days, automotive safety largely goes unnoticed by the average consumer, so seamlessly integrated into today's cars. But in the 70s, safety was an ugly word. It meant compromise. It meant sacrificing style and art just to appease some anal-retentive nerds in a lab coat somewhere. But not with Mercedes. The R107 was an example to the world that safety can be sexy. Every consideration was accounted for. For frontal impacts, the steering column collapsed so as not to impale the driver. For rollover protection, the windshield surround was now reinforced, acting as a roll bar. And for all those who fear having their eye socket gouged by the shift lever handle, you can rest easy because it's been enlarged in order to avoid such an occasion. All this and much more made the Mercedes-Benz 450 SL a lesson in the art of safety. But technological advancement, coupled with that three-pointed star, meant that you'd need some seriously deep pockets to own one of these. When new, the R107 sold for nearly double the price of its British competition, the Jaguar E-Type convertible. In fact, in that price bracket, it was mingling with the likes of the Ferrari Dino. But let's be honest, if you had that kind of money, you'd probably have all three cars anyway. That way, you could just drive the Mercedes whenever the Ferrari and Jag are in the shop. As with most vehicles in this price bracket, they're driven gingerly and generally used for more leisurely adventures. Trips to the casino, yacht club, nearest tax haven, rich people stuff. But even the most lavish of lifestyles can't help but succumb to Father Time's unforgiving embrace. So, what does 44 years and 330,000 miles do to one of Stuttgart's finest exports? Well, aesthetically, perhaps not as much as you'd expect. Naturally, it boasts a selection of imperfections, such as rust bubbles, scratches, and dents. However, noting the fact that this Mercedes has spent its life in the sun-drenched states of California and Arizona, it may come as a surprise to know that the paint is all original. With little to no clear coat damage to speak of, that's a minor miracle. The exterior does fall short in other areas, however. Unfortunate as it is, owning a high-profile vehicle sometimes yields unwarranted attention, which is why the lower chrome body cladding is missing. It was stolen. This is why we can't have nice things. Possibly the saddest of all, however, is the condition of the soft top, because, well, it's missing too. But at least it wasn't stolen. No, it was just so infrequently used that it essentially dried up and turned into dust from being stowed away so long. Kind of like your mom. No matter, the factory hardtop is still an option if you feel the need to drive this car on the one day it decides to rain in Arizona. Some might argue that Mercedes-Benz is all about the interior. The exquisite materials, new age technology, and ergonomic design choices all come together to make your driving experience as relaxing as possible. Get flipped off in traffic? Who cares? They're just angry that you're more comfortable than them. 4 decades later, and this old-timer still provides its passengers with incomparable driving grandeur. It may be missing its radio, which was, well, it was stolen, but you know what sounds even better than music? The sound of a perfectly functioning air conditioner. Go ahead, indulge. Is your passenger too cold? Well, then just use the dual zone climate control, yes, the dual zone climate control in 1977 to adjust it to their liking. There isn't much to dislike in this interior, unless you're adverse to the color blue, of course. I like it, especially over white, but you don't really care what I think, do you? As for the overall condition, it suffers from a common case of cracked dashboard, which isn't unusual in almost any vintage car. Just leave the dashboard cover on and it's good as new. The only other considerable damage is this unsightly tear in the driver's seat. Even still, on a scale of Chevy Cavalier to Rolls-Royce Phantom, I give this interior 3 stars. Older Mercedes have often been regarded as exceptional works of automotive craftsmanship. Built to last, bulletproof, and over-engineered are all phrases that people associate with the brand. So what is it about these old German cars that allow them to last so long? By now, it should be no secret. It's money! Scrooge McDuck swimming in piles of golden doubloons kind of money. Now, that isn't to discredit the natural reliability and lasting quality of a vintage Mercedes, but the reality is, they often need a generous helping hand to be where they are today. Just like their wealthy clientele, all they need is a small infusion of other people's cash, resources, and time to become a self-made individual. Such is the case with this 450 SL. You see, in the last 20 years of ownership, the cost of maintenance and repairs is estimated at upwards of $20,000. Not for the faint of heart. However, in its defense, that value may well be higher than your average R107 owner, and this is due to a few reasons. First, steering and suspension. Perhaps unsurprising, nearly every component has been replaced. Tie rods, shocks, bushings, you name it. If it attached to the wheels, it was replaced. Second, the transmission. Somewhere around the 300,000 mile mark, the transmission began slipping and struggling, like a drunk man playing hockey. And around that same time was when the last expensive repair was needed, the engine. Yes, the tired 4.5-liter was rebuilt within the last decade due to a myriad of reasons, the head gasket being one of them. But hey, over 300,000 miles before a drivetrain rebuild is nothing to shrug at. On the bright side, with the biggest repairs out of the way, the car now runs perfectly. I said, nope. The car now runs perfectly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next mile.